down, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard.
All right, let's try that again. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the JC Shaw Motorsports Podcast, Episode 2. I am Jaden Katasi, driver of the number 11 Outlaw Late Model, Sportsman Late Model, and Super Late Model. To my left, we got Harl Schaefer, and to his left, we got Gino Davis.
Gino's with us today, and he's going to talk about his racing from when he started, and then when we got hooked up with him down the road and all that. So go ahead, Gene.
Well, actually, we got started. I did at a young age. My dad, we lived in California, and we started drag racing. And then after that, we moved to Indiana, and he hooked up with a guy that was circle track racing out of Walkerton. And it went from there, and when I started getting older and got on my own, I decided to jump into the racing world myself, and I bought a Coyote when they ran at New Paris Speedway.
And just so everybody knows, what kind of car was that?
It was a Cutlass 88.
Stock?
Completely stock, just like the Crown Vic classes of today.
So they didn't do much to them then?
Not much at all. Took the windows out.
Yeah.
I ran it at New Paris, blew a head gasket.
Oh, shoot.
And I stopped, and I said, well, what am I going to do now? I'll put no money in it. The very next week, South Bend had a demolition derby. And I
there you
took
go.
it there and ended up getting 7th place in the demolition derby with that car, and still ended up selling it for $250 afterwards.
Can't beat that.
And then after that, got married, had kids, and was with a friend of mine. His name was Ron Albaugh. I was with him for 20 years. And after that, I took about a year and a half off. I wanted to get in my own racing.
Hang on. When you were with Ron Albaugh, what kind of car was that?
We had a Howe chassis.
Late model.
Outlaw late model. And we started out with actually a street stock, and then we went up to the late model division. And like I said, I was with him for 20 years. And then took about a year and a half off, decided to buy my own car. And really not knowing what I was doing when I was buying an Outlaw late model. And I got a learning experience fast. Really fast. And so I bought the car and used all the money to buy the car. I didn't have any money to
Go
race.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle. And then, I picked up a little sponsors here and there. And then, actually, it was a bunch of friends that I actually started out with. My first driver was Curtis Holt, and I bought it, and it was the next week the 4th of July parade was in there, and so I put it in the parade with the same.
I was gonna say, I think I remember all of that.
Yeah.
Same number that I bought it with, and I bought it off Rexworth. And it was a good chassis. Thought it was a good motor. But we had problems at the very beginning. Then when I was in that parade, I saw Mr. Harl Schaefer on the side there, and he didn't know I had got the car. And we had got together, and Harl wanted me to have it at his house.
Oh, yeah, at my garage.
And we had it in his garage, and it must have been 3 years we had it there.
Yeah, 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of fun. God, we even got our pit crew together of James McIndaffer, Craig McIndaffer, Harl Schaefer, Brett Gawker, James Jaworski, Stevie Snyder, Todd Clifton. And we had a little big success. I think we won a feature and kind of finished that year off. And then we started working on getting more sponsors and more sponsors. And actually, it was my son that had talked to somebody from R&B Car Company. And I did not know R&B Car Company at all, and talked to them, and they ended up giving us a $1,000 sponsorship, and that we were in heaven. So,
and that was Brandon Kutasi.
Brandon Kutasi, R&B, and the whole group was worked with me for about 13 years, and it was the best sponsor I could have. And then Mark's Auto Repair out of Lakeville jumped on board. Community-wide Federal Credit Union jumped on board, thanks to Andy. And R&B. And I had a lot of little other sponsors, you know.
I'm trying to remember myself. Well,
You had Bruno's for a bit.
Bruno's. We
on
had
there,
Bruno's
you know.
Pizza for 3 or 4 years. Oh. JJ's Pest Control.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started racing. I had Curtis Holt as my first driver. Curtis ran.
Speaking of Curtis, and then the parade too, right up there on the desk.
Yes. Had a lot of good times with Curtis. We decided to part ways, and then we brought in Rich Bull for 2 years. And the first year we finished third in points at South Bend and third in points at Plymouth. And Rich ran for us a couple years, and then decided to go his own way. And then their Katoskis came on board, R&B, and we decided we want to do more. They want to do more and more with us. And we decided, okay, so then we had Scott Ross for a year. Brian Ross come up to me and asked me if, he said, I was asking who I could put in the car, and I was at Brian's house. He said, try my brother Scott. And we had him for a year, and Scott had finally got his car done, and decided he wanted to run his, or I decided he wanted to run his. I mean, it was,
Mutual agreement.
It was. Yeah. And then it was blank for a while. Actually, we did have Charlie run that year for the
times.
Sizzler. Yeah, for the Sizzler.
Didn't he run it another time? Didn't he run at Kalamazoo for you for the Super Shoot by chance? Wasn't that him or not? No.
I'm not. That's a long time ago.
Yes, I'm trying to remember myself.
And then we, Charlie Hanna called me, and we hooked up, and for 7 years there, with all the help, my crew's help, we took down 4 out of 7 years of
Championships.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was good times then.
That was really good times.
That was fun.
And that's when you guys were running that. That's when we were running with Brandon and your dad with the 14 car up at South Bend.
Yeah, and one of the good nights at South Bend is when they both won the features. Remember that?
Yeah,
Yep.
I do remember that. Yep, both of them won the features.
And a lot of good times and a lot of heartaches in racing.
Yes, a lot of blown motors. Especially in the beginning.
I had 2 totes of motor parts.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
can imagine.
And then, thank God, Scott Shaw got a hold of me, talked to me. He's a manager at a
The service center.
Service
R&B,
center, yep.
Yeah.
got a hold of me and said, "Hey, let me take care of your motor." I said, "Okay." And it was the best move I could ever make in my life as far as racing.
Scott makes some good motors. I mean, he
God
got
does
together.
make some good motors.
Excellent.
Best
Didn't have
motors
any
I've ever
problems.
ran.
very good maintenance program all the way around. And so, yeah, that was pretty much it. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of great people. And still have a lot of friends because of it. And some friends that'll be friends for life. And that's sometimes people don't realize what that racing thing can do to you.
Oh, I know it.
No, a
It
lot
can
of
make
people.
you, break you, and divorce you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
You
can testify
still-
on the divorce deal.
You still have a lot of good friends, and besides all the mishaps of racing, and you can stay friends, and that's what racing's all
I
about.
was gonna say a lot
So-
of people don't really understand the relationship of a racing family.
Not one bit.
Mm-mm.
There's so much trust you have to
Oh yeah.
have in other people to help you.
Yes.
And in my case, I had a great group of guys.
Well, you had James and Scott Shreve. Scott
Scott
and James
Shreve,
were
yeah.
pretty good for you there.
Scott decided to take over the shock package deal, and James took care of everything else. I mean, the motor, we had it at James's house for about 4 or 5 years, and it just took off. But when people get older, things start getting older
Yeah.
for them,
Yeah.
as we all know. But
So you got out of it, right? Or I mean,
I took a break.
your boys are doing
both
racing, right?
Austin and Addison both race. As we talk right now, there's a car in my garage, new chassis, getting put together. But as everybody knows, it takes time, and,
Oh, yeah.
and when families are involved too, it's hard.
You still have your old car?
I do. It's sitting on the side of my garage. Needs a front clip, which I got another front clip for it, and a rear
Nice.
clip. And
Cool.
Austin ran that ran to reveal the Hammer Series, and we ran the Sizzler. But there again, as you all know, racing is, you better be on top of the,
Oh, yeah.
top
Oh, yeah.
of the book to race with these guys anymore.
It's hard.
Yep. Jaden's had his downfalls.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Watching Jaden come up, actually it was Allie and Jordan.
Yeah, Allie and
started
Jordan at
started in
first.
the, what do they call that series?
it was the front wheel drives, wasn't it?
No, it was a little go-karts.
Oh, you're talking about the go karts. Oh,
Oh, that-
shoot,
Wow.
that was Midwest karting.
Yeah, Midwest indoor karting.
And we followed that.
Mhm.
I mean, I did. James McAdaffer went with me. My whole family, we stayed in a hotel.
I remember you guys coming to BMI for his first race
Yep.
up there.
Yep.
Remember in Ohio?
Michigan.
Oh,
Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah,
The
Ohio.
indoor dirt track. Remember
Yep.
that? That was his first race.
Yep. And it's and that's just
It's just how it went.
to see Jaden come up. He was involved in the racing, when at a young age.
Oh yes,
Very
yes.
But
young.
he had to
yeah.
have, just like every other kid has that young, his cars
Cars and his flags.
and his flags.
He
Yes.
had to wave them flags.
And I remember going to Winchester.
Oh,
And do you
yeah.
remember when he had
Yeah,
his flags
yeah,
in
yeah.
Winchester?
Yeah,
And
one
I don't
white
know,
flag
what,
and one
10
real-
years old, 8.
Oh my
I don't know.
gosh.
Yeah,
That was
it-
2014. I was 11.
11, yeah.
And he was a hell of a flag man.
Yes,
He was a hell of a flag
he
man.
was on top of it, wasn't he?
But boy, what has he turned into? He's turned into a little good racer, man. He's going to some big shows.
Yep.
He's starting to succeed in the big shows too.
It'll happen.
It's coming.
Plymouth has been your worst track by far.
Freaking hate Plymouth. That track is so fun to drive on, but that place hates me and I hate it.
Well, I tell you, like I said, from the beginning you started at, it's really turned out to be really interesting and really fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be proud of yourself and your crew.
Yeah, the
And your
cruise.
crew.
We've all came along.
Because
That's for sure.
As you know, if you don't have that
It'll
crew,
fall apart.
it will. Ask
No
me.
crew means you're
Ask me.
screwed.
Yeah.
Ask me.
You know?
I mean, I have my 2 sons now, and they're both good at what they do. But it just takes the whole crew, and you know what? It ain't the biggest things; it's the littlest things in racing that matter.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The details.
It is, and no one understands that. But believe me, I do understand because I think I ran 1 million miles to get sponsors.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're all over the place.
Oh my goodness!
Yes,
And
yes, absolutely. Okay, so what is Austin and Addie's plans for? Are both of them going to drive? Are they going to take turns?
yes, Addie built a Crown Vic just to keep on getting in the car.
Yep.
And he actually has a street stop motor at Scott Shaw's house now. We got to get the heads over there and done, and that's going to be a good little street stock motor. And then we got to put a new rear clip on his street stock. And like I said, Austin is putting the. It's a Howe late model.
Okay.
Donnie Klotz got a hold of us and said, "Hey, you need a chassis?" And I said, "Well, mine's bent."
Yeah.
And he said, "Come get it." And it had a 2014, 15 brand new front clip put on
No
it.
kidding.
Huh.
Nice.
And so it's, as far as the clip on that is, it's updated.
Sure.
And so, yeah, we
Cool.
sanded it down, painted it, and it's ready to be dropped on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just,
Roller.
yes.
There you
Thank
go.
God. We got to put
Nice.
the motor in it and try to, get all the oil lines set up, then pull the motor back out, and then I'm going to have Scott refreshing the motor.
You race in South Bend, Plymouth, or are you going to run certain shows?
Well, I really don't know. Yeah, we're going to stay local,
Okay.
because of this.
Sure.
I mean, the Revilla Hammer, excellent. I mean, Steve Stacey ran twice,
Mhm.
and he brought home almost $2,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Phil Bozell came home with what, 40 grand?
40 grand.
It was insane.
I saw the payout, and I went, unbelievable.
The payout's phenomenal.
It is.
It is the best payout we've had around here in a long time. I
Exactly.
mean, even
You have to
Sis-
travel 3.5 hours.
yeah, you got to travel a little bit, but I feel like it's gonna be worth it at the end. Look how much money's just sitting there in their purse.
I'm looking for this article. I was reading on it. I think it was like $360,000 they paid out.
364
Was
or
it some-
65, something like that. Yeah.
That's a pretty good pay for that, I think.
And it last was 42 cars.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, they were starting all of them, but I don't think they started 42 this last time. I don't know.
Yeah, I was.
Dang, that's a lot of cars.
It is a lot of cars, and but the last time they had 30-something cars there, and they started them all and paid them all. So
That's awesome.
I mean, start money $867 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's not even bad.
No.
It pays for the tires.
Yeah, that
And when we
covers
go
your
to some
tires.
tracks with these big shows,
You
And-
got to buy at least 2 cents.
I mean,
right? But even then, if you only bought one,
yeah.
I was gonna say,
there's paying you $6 and it costing you eight something.
Yeah.
You're still paying. Yeah.
Is it 8 something now?
I think they're 680 now actually for the 35s and 45s.
It's almost a wash. Almost.
But
Okay, so I mean, not cutting on any of the tracks.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
They,
no,
they
but
have
like
to make money too, and
I will say, you can go from like this year's South Bend Motor Speedway's Gambler. It was 10,000 to win, but second only paid like what, $2,500. Whereas you go to the Summer Sizzler, we got second in that. It was 10,000 to win, then it went to 5,000, then 3, 2, 1, and then on out.
I do believe there should be more money at second, third, fourth, fifth. and
Definitely.
on down, and
Yeah.
see, that's what,
Definitely.
See, in the big shows when we were back in the day, we all raced.
Or
It
like
was-
spread the pot. That's what I think.
Yeah.
The pot needs spread a little bit better than what it was.
Because, like, when we were racing back in the day, it was the big money show was just for that winter, and then after that, it dropped off. I mean, we finished third that one time, and you didn't get shit hardly, did you?
I didn't get $350.
Something like
No
that.
kidding.
Was that what it was?
How much
Yeah.
was it to win?
I don't remember the big show what they paid back then
Oh.
the day, but it was a big drop from first to second.
Gosh.
And
dang.
I mean, Plymouth Speedway, South Bend Speedway are doing as good.
Oh,
as
they're
they can
doing
do.
phenomenal for sure.
And,
Definitely.
they always put on a show for everybody, and all the drivers should be happy for that because there is a place to run.
Yes.
But then, like I said, reveal the hammer. If you run all 8 races, you're liable to bring home $8,000.
Yeah. It's insane.
I mean,
at least 7,500. I mean, that almost covers it all.
all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the racing thing. Whoever wants to get into racing, just be prepared
To spend
and,
some money.
and find the people that you
Yeah.
trust. And like I said, that trust lasts a long time.
Let's say Reveal the Hammer. There's talks of NOS Energy coming on board with them. So the purse next year is probably going to be even bigger, I'd assume.
That was the reveal, or
Yeah, Reveal the Hammer.
really?
They're sponsor the Hammer, I guess.
Yeah, big spot. I think it's supposed to be like primary sponsor for the series now and all of that.
So I'm sure the pay will go up with that kind of sponsorship.
I think so.
Car counts probably go up too, and you're gonna be having good car counts. And back when we were racing late models, we thought it was gonna be gone by now, didn't we? I mean, there wasn't a whole lot out there.
Absolutely, there wasn't, man. But now, if you guys really realized, I think South Bend only ran 4 races that were points.
No,
6, because they had the Gambler, which no points.
I think they had 10 is what it was.
Was it 10?
I think
Okay.
so.
And then how many at Plymouth? Was it 10 at Plymouth too?
Plymouth had 14 points
Well,
nights. Oh well,
minus the
yeah, minus the
Grand Slam.
yeah. So probably about 10 as well.
So I mean, 10 times each track. That's different days. I personally really like the Friday night racing.
I do
it's-
too.
It's hard for people to get off work and everything, but
But then you get to enjoy your whole weekend still.
Kalamazoo's
Relax.
doing it, and they're still packing the stands.
Yeah.
Well, like Jaden doesn't know, but back when we were racing, we raced Friday at South Bend, Saturday at New Paris.
No,
and
I
then
remember these.
Sunday at Plymouth.
I remember these.
You remember that? Remember them? Okay. Remember them?
So I was
days?
excited
do,
for every
and
freaking
Trying to
race.
pull all three days off in a weekend.
A lot of times we just ran with Ron Allball. We just ran on Fridays because everybody wanted a weekend after that, and that's what was great about Friday. But yeah, well, I remember I used to go to Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, and I was exhausted just by going.
Yeah, exactly. And if you wreck, then it's really tiresome.
Yeah, if you wreck on Friday, you're done for the weekend probably. I'd assume.
no. Not the way those guys did.
we
No.
We fixed them, and I
Gosh,
remember
dang.
one time Rich wrecked at South Bend, and we went to Mike's house and we were fixing it, and we got it fixed just enough to get to New Paris, and we were there. Maybe he didn't get to practice, but I think he got to qualify, and then the next day we went to Plymouth.
Gosh,
So
dang.
yeah, it was a strung out day. You probably didn't get very much sleep then, if I remember correctly.
Probably not.
We were out there, had that thing tied to a tree, pulling and yanking.
I remember.
So I'd assume it got the front clip.
Yeah.
We got wrecked at Plymouth one day. It was a Friday, and I was at a football game watching my son play, and they had called me and said it's wrecked. So I went out to Kratoski's house at 10:30 at night, and it got hit really good. And so that was the one time. There was another time we went back to Kratoski's house after the races, and I think I left at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I think Harl here was sleeping on the floor underneath the car.
He's
So-
acting like he's working.
Acting
He's
like
taking
I-
a nap.
There were some late nights in racing when that stuff happens. But
Late nights.
there's
I remember one time, I'll tell you, when Curtis was working on the car at my house, I'd get up and go to work in the morning and work out in the garage, and he's out there still working on the car.
oh yeah,
Many, many times,
right.
you know.
I mean that was Curtis's main job
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
time.
exactly. Working on that car. Yeah.
A lot of good times racing with all my crew, and a lot of good times after the races with everybody. Everybody.
I think we had the funnest when you first started. I think we all had the funnest. Because,
Oh.
I mean, you might have thought it was a party, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
You know, we had fun doing what we were doing.
Everybody else would be working, and everybody else would come over.
Yeah.
They would have
They
the
would-
party.
Yeah, they would have the party.
No.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was just fun times back then. We had some fun times.
it's very fun times.
Yep.
now, the boys, they're getting their stuff ready, but now it's just, now we get to watch Jaden do his thing, And I went to the Sizzler this year, and
Yeah, I didn't even know you were out there.
yeah, I was in turn
Why
one.
don't you come down and say hey?
Well, because it's a long walk. I was in turn one, and I don't want to go all the way over.
Oh, you were
one.
Yeah. And boy, it's just darn hot at the Sizzler every year.
Every year.
Gosh. The name fits it very well.
Yeah.
And you held second.
Almost won
Sorry,
that show.
you held first for
88 laps.
90,
80 some laps.
was it?
Yeah.
I think it was 88.
I
Then
thought
we
it was
just
like
got
the
drove by
last
like we were on
8 or
Jack's
9,
hands.
wasn't it? Or that's why I thought maybe not. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I think it was like you were in the 90s.
I mean, you had to.
What I remember. I don't remember.
In your mind driving, you're like, where in that?
Yeah, I was like,
everybody at?
Hey,
I'm freaking sitting in there making sure I hit my line.
A
I
funny
thought
si-
Donnie Klotz ran you really well.
He did.
A
He
funny
did.
side note on that. Tell him about his spotter.
I was speaking. Okay, so off of turn 2, I'm probably like lap 30 or something. I know Klotz is behind me. I can see somebody off of turn 2 freaking giving hand signals, telling somebody to cut under. It was ending up being Klotz's spotter, and I could read him like a book. I could tell every move that he was doing. So when he would say cut low and try to cross me over, I'd stop it a little more in center, so he'd have to park it, and then I'd come off lower so he couldn't get around me.
Yeah, see, what people don't realize is when they're doing that, and you can't wear radios,
Mm-hmm.
you can catch that.
Yeah,
You might not think you see that one person, but you can catch it. And
it helped me out
that's
for
really
a long
cool.
time.
That's really good,
I was laughing.
Because normally as a racer, don't you feel on the bump they hit you in the butt end? and
Actually,
you kinda-
I could feel it, but I made plastic quarter panels, so I could feel them hit me, but it wouldn't affect the handling of the car at all. They just flex right in and shoot back out.
I thought he did a really good job.
He did. A lot of people talk crap about
He
him. He's an
raced.
awesome guy.
Yes, he is. And
Yeah,
you're
he
right.
I have a
They-
lot of respect for the guy.
They do, and when I really got to know Little Junior,
Yeah, he's
I don't know him like
Yeah. Etheridge even raced you good.
average. He was fun to race. Oh my gosh, he was hard to. When he'd get me on the restarts a couple times, he was freaking hard to get back around.
Yeah.
Or just try to stay to the inside of him. I don't know what he had going on, but he was fast.
Well, you didn't know about it, but Shook was coming through the field.
Yeah, I couldn't tell
He had
because the
the roughest
scoreboard is
time
broke.
to get
Yeah.
around Etheridge. Yeah,
Yeah,
Etheridge.
Eldridge.
yeah, he had the roughest time. He was giving him problems coming off tip 4, but once he broke loose off that, but yeah, it's stuff like that to me. Watching you as a young man moving up, it's satisfying, So I still get the satisfying feel
Mm-hmm.
because I know you very personally. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So-
definitely. I mean, I played football on your team and all that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, there, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was kind of
How
hard
was
to
that
do,
coaching
man.
the kid?
Yeah, oh my goodness. Well, he didn't know football.
no, I did not know.
He wasn't
what I
afraid
was-
to stick his. I said, stick your nose in there and get in there, And at the end of the season, he was doing just fine.
Yeah.
Just
I
fine.
did not know what I was doing at all at first. I was mainly there for the workouts at first for racing, and then I just started playing it and getting better.
Yeah, 32 years of that was enough. I missed that too, but everything comes into a halt sometimes when you just realize that you got to catch back up to life.
Definitely.
Sometimes you don't get caught up enough in your life because of racing.
Yeah.
But boy, the times I'll never forget is we used to have our fundraisers at the VFW.
Yes.
I remember these.
And that is another big one sponsor that helped us for a long time was the VFW.
Yep.
And they sponsored us, and eventually we started having a fundraiser because,
$1,000 drawing, right?
it was $1,000 drawing, and we only printed out 300 tickets the first year,
Mm-hmm.
and I could have sold 500.
Yep.
So the next year I got 400, I could have sold 500. And we did that for 7 years. It was really fun, and actually,
Yeah, good food and stuff too.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and then the one year when Bruno's came in with that pizza,
Oh, yeah.
wow. But yeah, all my crew helped with that.
Yep.
we sold raffle tickets, and cookies, and then they help cook the food, and that's what I'm saying. If you don't have a people like that to help you in racing, and because that was one of my biggest sponsors too, that fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to bring in, get ready, because you know what you do with your sponsor money. Of course, you spend it, right?
Yeah, you spend
But
it.
you spend it just to go to that first race,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much.
and then you got to produce a little bit in order to keep going for the
Exactly.
second race, Or
So, what are you gonna go to Winchester this year?
I am going to go to
Are
Winchester.
you
Nice.
going down Sunday or?
We, the boys and I, it's the only time I get away with my boys. We're going to be down Friday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've been doing that for about 17, 18 years, but with my boys, just us three, we've been doing it for at least 8 or 9, and we stay with a good friend of Bob Fuda.
Bob Fuda.
Yeah, Fuda.
Yep.
And there again, I think, as far as I'm concerned in camping, there's more Plymouth, South Bend, Walker and Liberty, Plymouth people there than anybody.
Yeah, it seems like that is the case. There's a lot of people that we know that go there. I mean, the people that are outside the bubble are just people that they know to come race. I mean, it's the clientele down in Winchester is a different breed of people,
It's a
though.
whole different atmosphere down there.
It's way different. Yes.
It is. It really is, and it's atmosphere of
It's
racing.
fun.
is-
Yes, it's a fun atmosphere racing.
Boy, if you
Unless it
go,
rains,
if you ever go to
Unless
Winchester,
yeah.
if you ever go to Winchester and you camp, you need a golf cart.
you need
Yeah.
a golf cart.
You need a golf cart.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, in my racing, there was only one year that I finished 8th in points. There was no year that I didn't. We finished. The worst I actually finished in those years was 3rd in points. We was always 1, 3rd, 1, 2, 1. There's only one year that I finished 8th in points, and that's when Charlie got wrecked and
Yeah, that's right.
head on in the wall, and
Oh, yeah.
he broke his back, and
Yeah, he was out for a while.
he was out for 5 days.
No,
And he
I
was-
thought he was out.
No, he was back the next week
Was he really?
in a borrowed car, and which with a broken back, I wouldn't want to think you'd want to get back into a car after a while.
That's why I thought he was out for a while.
But he did, and basically that's when he finished 8th in points.
See, them were the races that I didn't get to go watch you guys because I was with
We were
him.
starting to do CRA at
and
that
he
time.
was-
We wrecked that night too.
Austin, my son got to see you down at Winchester when you ran the Jegs 100.
Yeah, the All Stars
All-Star
tour.
Series.
All-Stars, yeah.
That's when he won Rookie of the Year.
And I tell you, wow, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Rookie of the year, 5th in points.
Yep,
That was fun.
that was a
CRA
good
wasn't
year.
bad. It was good.
We learned a lot.
Yeah, we learned a lot.
If we went to go do it again, we'd do a lot of things different.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You find so much different things that we should have done that. We should have done that. But
I think I learned that every time we raced.
yeah, pretty much.
You know,
You do.
but there's so many things that happen at Winchester that come loose too.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you got everything tied down.
Oh my gosh, you have one bolt loose. That sucker's coming off in the race.
Well, you want to talk about a bolt coming off the New Paris race, right? He's running 2nd, and the car probably could have stayed he could have stayed up front, but we got back to the shop here, and Brian was looking at it, and one of the spindle bolts on the bottom was coming loose and was rubbing against the tire, which gave him. You said it was tight, right?
Oh, that sucker got plowing tight. I don't know if that was
that
all the
bolt
issue,
was
but
hitting that tire for the last however
starting-
many races.
we also thought kind of the shock started to collapse at New Paris too.
Yeah.
And we felt, we went to Plymouth and struggled with tightness in the car, and we were able to unfinish because it was so bad.
So you're saying we kind of got lucky.
We kinda
Nothing
got-
did nothing
yeah.
else.
Yeah, we kind of got lucky.
That's good
Yeah.
because you've had a
I mean,
rough year at
and
the
you know,
start.
and you know how that is. The one time we'd wreck it, and we just put it back together to go back out to get points and whatever. I remember one time, I remember who was driving.
Curtis.
Was it Curtis?
Yes.
And that sway bar, I said, I only got one bolt on that. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. And he just kept going. And it was fast.
It was fast.
It was fast.
And he finally said, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I forgot."
Yeah.
Or there was a time when the car ran, and all of a sudden we started lining up for the feature at New Paris, and it wouldn't start.
Yeah.
All we had was a jack on the car, and Harl was underneath that. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And the jack dropped.
Yep.
And I caught it with the jack.
Yep. And
Jack
they jerked
slipped.
me out real quick.
Yep.
Wow. Yep.
But he got it.
It was a wire.
It was a ground wire.
a ground wire that was messed up.
On the battery.
It fired up, and away he went.
Harl had to go wipe after that.
Yes.
Because it was close.
That was a close one.
So we about didn't have him around no more.
It was close. It was
Gosh, dang.
And we always thought it was fuel and all that,
We took
digging
the
it.
fuel cell out and
Oh man, we did everything.
bladder and all that stuff, man,
Yep.
and put it all back together and
Yep,
still made it.
Still made it,
But yeah, the one year we won, we didn't qualify for the A main, the Sizzler.
Yeah, I
So
remember
we ran
that.
to B.
And made the show.
We ran, and there was, at that time, the Sizzler,
There was a ton of.
we had 19 cars in that B.
Yeah,
feature.
in the B.
And it was still paid $1,000 to win.
Yep.
No kidding.
More than your average night show back then. So
Gosh, dang.
I think.
Oh, is that when the hose went?
Curtis was complaining about those tires. You don't remember that, do you?
Keep talking.
And he was complaining to Denny Nyree, because Denny Nyree was in charge of the tires things.
Remember now.
And so we started on the pole.
Yep.
And Bobby Blunt didn't even make it, the show. He made the B with us.
Yep.
And we thought, okay, with Bob in there, Bob was good, period.
Yeah.
And we took the whole thing. We won the 50 lapper and won $1,000. I thought we were in heaven.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the biggest payday I had, and it was great.
Yep. And that was a fun night. I think the sun was rising when we left the place then, if I remember correctly.
Oh, my.
Quite a few times.
Quite a few times. Such a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember the first year we won the championship at South Bend. We had won that thing by 371 points.
Gosh,
We
dang.
had 7 feature wins. Was fast time, set 6 times. And
Annihilated.
that's with Charlie, Hannah, and
Yep.
that was a good year.
That was a very good year. Yep. And Brandon came home third in points. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to go on vacation.
He probably
Yep.
could have won the points, but he had to go on vacation. Yep. So, well, so what's the future plans for everybody? Do you have a plan, or are you just gonna see what happens? Or
I think my boys want me to try to be the sponsor man again. And it sometimes you got to realize it's hard to ask,
It is.
especially the way economy is now and everything, and the expense of parts. But I'll try to do my best. So yeah, we're going to go forward with this stuff. But I'm kind of laying back and not spending the big money, and
Sure.
I already have.
Yep.
The boys get all my equipment.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
And he
That's-
had some good equipment, so I'm sure they got some good stuff from
oh yeah, it's just sitting there. I mean, I could put my motor in and run it now if I wanted to,
Is that right?
but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I got you.
I want to send my heads to
Yep.
Arkansas, the Brodex, and get them revalved and have Scott put new bearings in it. That should be it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it when I pulled it out. So
Sure.
it's been sitting for a year and a half,
And that's the motor Scott built for you, right?
and the motor
Yeah.
Scott I've had for
Yeah, you didn't
Had that
have
for a long
once
time.
Scott built your motors, you didn't have any motor issues.
we had the valve stuck once, and that's not
One time.
not his fault.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you've never been down there to see him build that thing, he builds it just like a professional built it. I mean, he uses all these little things.
Dial indicators.
Yes, and well, I mean, I'm sure every motor builder does, but he is so knowledgeable about a
Yeah.
motor, man. And
I think Scott can put them together in his sleep.
I really do.
Probably.
I really do.
I mean,
All I know, when I talk to him, I got a problem with the Ford because I'm a Ford man.
yeah,
He knows it.
yeah.
He knows what to say, and that'll do this and that'll do that. And
What year was that? Oh, well, this is what
Yeah,
happened.
and you don't have to look it up.
No.
And it's the same way with his race motors.
Yeah. Yeah. Scott's done.
But I tell you what, I will tell you this: my luck didn't turn around until after I went to Scott Shaw. As far as the motor,
Is that
as
right?
far as the motor,
Yep.
my luck didn't turn around until I hooked up with R&B Car Company.
Yep. That's what started it for you, probably.
Oh, started it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much R&B helped this guy, me, hands down. I mean, if I could see Brandon and Dan right now today, I would
Shake their hands.
shake their hands and thank them again.
Yep. Yep.
Which I'm not saying that it's over.
No.
'Cause I just took a break, and I had told Brandon I just wanted to take a break.
Yep.
And so
Yeah, and they help.
We'll see.
And they help quite a few drivers
Oh,
if they can.
well, see, that's what's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that company helped quite a few people, not just Gene Davis. They've helped a lot of people.
Yeah, if they could help everybody at the racetrack, they would, but physically not possible.
Yes.
Sadly, it isn't. But
And to be honest with you, when that started happening, being my number one sponsor,
Yeah.
you take that to heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And did it bother me? Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you realize what they're doing for these other racers,
Sure.
there's no bother.
no.
I think and I don't know Brandon's and Dan's opinion. This is just my opinion, but I think if you try to help like 3 or 4 different people at a track, and I mean that's better than helping just one person.
Period.
That
Period.
that them 4 cars are coming back to that track
Period.
or to a track. You don't have to have just one car and don't know where it's going.
Right.
So I think that helps them, get their name out there and help other drivers.
And I, personally, my crew, when somebody sponsored us, we want to make them proud of us.
Mm-hmm.
And being proud of you is doing good every once in a while. You know what I mean? Showing that name that's on your car out there in Victory Circle. Because if you don't,
What's the point?
there is no point.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's nice to help somebody out, like
Yep.
But I think every one of the cars they do sponsor, R&B,
Yep.
they're producing.
Yeah, I think they are.
Producing.
Most of them are. Jeff, he's won pretty good, right?
Yeah, Jeff's done pretty good.
I don't know what he done this year. Do you?
I think second in points at Plymouth again is what he ended up.
Yep.
Multiple feature wins on the year. Let's say, who else do we
Rich
sponsor? Rich. Rich got picked up another track championship at South Bend.
Yep. And then is there any more?
I don't know.
I
I think that's it for the moment.
for right now. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like I said, all those guys that are getting sponsored by R&B are doing well and putting their name out there. So,
Yep. Definitely no junk.
Mm-mm.
no, not at all. Not at all. You try to be and go in there with a professional
Yep.
attitude, and
Yep.
The one thing I'm there though for is not a hassle with anybody else or any other driver. I just want to go there and race, have fun. But as you know, it don't turn out that way sometimes. People
No.
get angry,
Yeah.
and why not?
And
But
you're always gonna have fights.
I will say I do remember one fight at South Bend between you guys and Presslers.
right, which in all reality, you get to know those guys, and they're pretty good. They're
Yeah,
pretty
they
good
are.
people.
Yeah.
They really are. And yeah, it's just all that was shouting matches.
Yeah, it was
just
all
shouting.
It was just
I mean,
yelling. It was
Yeah.
like me at New Paris this year. All it was just yelling.
Yeah, I don't think there was a whole lot of punches thrown in a lot of fights. I think it was more of the yelling and
Yeah.
hey,
Because
you're worthless. No, you're worthless.
when I was growing up and I was in the pits,
Yes.
you gonna get hit.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
You're just gonna get hit, and it's not like that no more. if you go, they're going to call the cops on you. They're going to arrest you, you know.
Yep.
And it's not worth it.
The way I look at it is, if you're gonna fight, bring it on the front stretch. Let the fans watch.
I'd rather go out in the parking lot.
Why is that?
No one can see me.
That's true.
No one can see the person I'm with.
Good point.
Yeah, that is a good point.
And it'll be quiet.
No lights to shine on you.
You two just go at it.
I can probably say that's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
No.
We're here to race, you know.
Yeah, if you're there to fight, you might as well
But that
pack your shit
happens
up and go.
everywhere. NASCAR.
Oh, I know.
you
Yeah.
know, They don't arrest NASCAR people.
No.
No.
They just let them figure it out and then find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they get fined on Wednesday.
That's
See the
what's
press
funny.
release.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a bunch of yelling. And like I said, if you get to know the Presslers, they're real good people and good racers. So
So anyway, thanks for coming, Gene. We
Appreciate it.
Is there anything else you want to say? Anything you want to let people know about racing?
like I said, if you want to get into it, be prepared for the cost.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they could get these tires under control because
Yeah.
that's what's costing everybody now. It was fuel.
I heard there's a
Fuel.
massive. They got a massive stockpile of them.
Right.
So I don't know what the whole deal is with the expenses and all that on them, but
But I would like to thank for one most important person I like to thank is my wife,
Well, yeah.
Jill Davis, because she had to put up with all the racing crap that goes on now.
And how many total years?
We've been married 39 years.
Yep. And she put up with racing the whole time.
Yeah, I've been into racing for about 40 years.
I remember the first time going to Kalamazoo for the Clash, and I took you up there.
Yep.
I think that was the first time we went to a race together.
And I think I fell asleep on the way home.
Yes, she did.
Mike Redot was racing then.
Yes, Mike was racing then. Yeah.
And
And I helped Mike a little bit here and there.
oh yeah. And I remember that.
Yep.
There again, a lot of good times.
Yes, a lot of good times.
A lot of good
I don't
times.
think we've really had. I mean, yeah, we've had bad times, but in the big picture of it all, the little bad times don't mean nothing
No.
compared to the fun.
Exactly.
you have to
know,
have lows to have highs.
Yeah.
Is a good way to put it.
You mentioned the what's that called? End of the show at Kalamazoo.
The Super Shoe.
Super shoe.
Super shoes.
I remember
on
we went up
party.
to it and we were saying we're going to race here. So we bring that Curtis Holt was running. The year before that, we tried to make it. Didn't make the
Didn't
feature.
make the feature, no.
So then we had to run a last chance race. Oh, I was winning. We were winning one race and blew the motor.
Yeah, the motor.
With the
No.
last lap to qualify in.
And it
Oh
blew
my
the
gosh.
crank snapped in half,
Oh my
and
God.
only half the motor would run.
Yeah.
And so we didn't know what was going on
No
until
kidding.
we figured it out. Yeah.
And then, and then the very next year, we qualified in, and we're all happy because qualified for the
Yeah,
Super Show. It was
yeah,
just as hard to make that show than it was anything else.
Yep, sure is.
And got an oil pan leak. Remember that whole oil pan?
Oh yes, yes.
Had to go buy 8 quarts of oil,
Yep.
and
And we put JB Weld on it, and
it was crossing our fingers.
yeah, exactly. And
We had an hour and a half to let it dry.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it
It
worked.
held. Yeah, I was gonna say it held.
We ran all 75 laps.
Yep.
I think we finished 8th or 9th.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. But it held. It was one of them. I hope.
I was happy.
Yeah. Hey,
I
I
brought
was
home like $300 and something instead of 50.
negative.
Yeah.
50.
Negative.
I do have to say that one time I pulled my motor out and we ran CRA at Winchester with Charlie's car.
Yes.
And we did our best. Got a flat tire in qualifying.
Yep.
Started going down. I had to buy another tire. And we were about 23 laps into the 50 lapper. And I don't know what cylinder decided to collapse, but it collapsed. And it was terrible, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
And
It
there
just
again, the
started
motor was still
smoking.
running.
Yeah, it was smoking like a son of a gun. Yep.
That was another good time.
That was a
We
good
had
day.
11 guys go down there and stay in the RV we took.
Oh,
And
Gosh,
that
dang.
was that was
oh,
That is packed.
that was a party.
Well, the RV could hold 12.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, well,
And,
guess it works.
Ah, dang.
Yeah. But if you walked there to sleep, it was just wherever you laid down. There was nobody really had a spot. And
Yeah.
I'm sure alcohol was involved in that.
We had our own porta-john.
Yep.
And on Sunday, I went in to use it Sunday morning because we were going to go watch the races. I went in to use it,
Oh no.
and we never had it emptied. They never came over to our area and emptied it.
And it was full.
Oh my.
You couldn't shut the lid. There was that much shit in it. You couldn't shut the lid in toilet paper.
No
I walked in there and
way.
went, what is this?
Holy
Oh,
crap.
God, I bet you everybody was using this thing.
Can you imagine in the dark backing into that thing, not
Oh,
looking?
my God.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
I'm done.
Talk about a shitty diaper.
Well, speaking of Winchester, we have that coming up for us. Here in a couple weeks, we've decided we're actually going to make the trip to Winchester, give the 400 a shot again. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm happy. I think what we found last year in our little stint, Brian seems to think that the cars
Possibly going to do something. So
should do something. Yeah.
Well, I had just went and talked to Bob Fuda for our spot and where we camp out, and I told him last week I was ready to go tomorrow. Like I said, and you know what, Jaden, having somebody that I know really good personally. Even Austin said it the one year you ran Jegs All-Star that I couldn't make it because James got married that year,
Yep.
which I really wanted to go because you were running that series, and Austin Ed came home and said, yeah, he said, I'm really proud of Jaden, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Get out there and run that track like that, and he did a great job. So
And
and then I missed it, and I was really upset because that's when I really wanted to go, and then I don't think you guys ran the following year.
No, we didn't.
Nope. Well, we had the Sportsman out there.
Oh, that's when we blew the motor.
Yeah, we blew up two motors in 3 days.
3 days, yeah.
How you guys doing? Motor Blue. Oh, okay, we got another
Well,
one. Okay,
it was weird when we got down there and went out practice.
We had 7/10 on the field.
Oh yeah,
It was insane.
And we were
Right.
fast.
right.
So he went back out for the second practice, and boom, the motor blew up. So we kind of thought we were done. Well, down the road was
Briefly.
Bill Rivley, and he had another motor down there. So we got the motor from him and put it in there and went out, and we were even faster yet. And then that motor blew. Then we knew we were done.
Oh, Jade, I never told you this, and I don't want you to take this to heart because
Uh-oh.
I don't know if your mom was kidding or not. But I asked her, and I said, "What's up?" She said, "I think it's Jaden."
Oh my gosh.
She goes, "I think Jaden blown those motors up." And I said, "No,
No.
no, he's over revving it or he's doing something." And I went,
We're on a chip.
I didn't say nothing. So
I'll have a talk
Now,
with
she
her
probably-
about that later.
she probably won't remember that, but I remember it.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't say it if I didn't remember it. You
Yeah.
know,
Gosh, dang,
and I don't
yeah.
know if she was kidding or what.
I hope she was kidding. I don't think I can make the motor
But she
blow
come out
up.
and said that. Huh?
Well,
Okay.
if you have it out of gear and hold it to the floor, I can see
Yeah,
that.
and freaking overheat it and grenade it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was kidding.
I
because
hope so.
didn't know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know
That's
how
funny.
you know how you go through races and you have,
blown motor.
no, yeah. Well, you have nothing but luck and you have no problems whatsoever, and then all of a sudden, man, you're ready for that next year, and it just goes downhill. You blow a motor, and then you blow another one, and you blow another
Yep.
one, and it just
That's how
like you can't-
2021 was for us.
Yeah, you just can't get ahead. It
We
seems
still
like
ended up
you
winning
just
the
can't get
championship
ahead.
somehow after all that.
And you can't.
No, yeah.
You're like, what?
What
just
do
happened?
What do we got to do?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I would have to say, Jaden, last year at the 400, it is survival.
Oh, it is. That is 100% a survival race. I'm actually considering qualifying in the rear again, just to lay back there, making sure I don't go laps down though, and just riding.
Very true. I
Well,
I
Dick
agree with
Trickle
that.
said a race isn't a race until the last 50 laps.
Exactly.
I was getting ready to get to that. I'm going to say, hey, listen, man, You on the lead lap. I don't care if you're in 20th.
Yeah.
You're on the lead lap.
You still got a shot at that show.
You still do, because there was one year we were there, and
Both leaders took each other
it
out.
did. And I can't. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Got up now like that.
And they were teammates.
I think they were.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just a survival of that 400, because just for 400 laps, you have to keep your mind.
You have to stay calm, stay hydrated during a race.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I see.
It is so much work on your body. It's so hard on your body. It's insane.
I was going to ask you that.
I mean, I only got to do 200 some laps before
276.
before we broke.
How would I know that?
Yeah.
And it's hard on you. It's not easy. It's one of the hardest races I've done, and it's just getting your mentality there to make you keep going.
Yeah. Well, being down in the pits for the 400 and being in the race is different than just being at the race.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And we were down in the pits, and when he was racing, and when we were done, I'm like, man, we didn't even make it a quarter of the way. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
And then we realized, oh, well, we were that far.
125.
Yeah,
man,
it's like,
geez.
man, it goes like that. But now when you're watching it, it just like it snail's paced.
Ah, darn, when
Oh,
did I
yeah,
get
Exactly.
No, that when you're watching
When
the
you're
race,
down-
it feels like it's taking forever.
Yeah.
It does.
But reality, you're
Yeah. When
probably
you're-
like halfway.
Yeah, and when you're down there and you're in the moment, there's nothing like that. I mean, it was awesome.
Oh, I bet it was.
It was.
Here's the thing, too. I would think that, boy, you really got to be focused, too, because it don't take nothing to mess up.
Oh my gosh, you're not kidding. I about freaking ate it off the
See,
turn
is it
two
like-
one
is it-
lap.
See, he's different. He likes people talking to him on the radio. He wants that interaction.
Because it keeps your mind focused
Yeah.
it
on,
does.
on the track.
Yep.
I mean, it has to be. It has to. I've not been in there.
He's now, and like with Brian, he don't want to talk to nobody.
No, yeah, Brian will
Yeah.
just stay there silent. I'm like,
Yeah.
because then it starts distracting me. I'm like, what's going on?
So like
Get out of focus.
So he just wants to hear all the feedback. So last year he had his guys down there.
Matt and Doug, unfortunately, they're not going to make it. Matt put his wedding literally on the day of Winchester 400.
Oh no doubt.
He's like, you got to be kidding me, dude.
Well,
So I have to teach you the strategizing program.
Jack, man, I don't want to strategize nothing.
Well, you got to put in our fuel so we know how much fuel we got.
I can take care of that.
Okay.
But yeah, on the radio when we first got into radios, when he was running mini cups, and I just would say clear, blah blah, and he's like, you gotta talk to me, tell me what I said. Are you sure? I was, he was what 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever
Mini
he
cups?
was in the mini cups. Were 10,
15,
11? No,
14.
you were younger.
No.
No, was it? Okay. Well, anyway, to me, he was still young, and I didn't feel it was appropriate to talk to him that way. And talk to Brandon, and Brandon goes, "Give him what he wants." I said, "All right," and I let him have it.
After that, it started winning
And-
features.
And then I remember when him and his sister was racing. I'm like, "Are you really gonna let your sister beat you?"
That's the night. That's the day I gave her 2 flat tires.
I'm like, I'm on the radio. Are you really gonna let your sister beat you? And he's 100 mile an hour. I'm like, yeah, your sister's in front too. I don't even know what he said, but
Wasn't
yeah,
that South
your
Bend, and
sister-
then I ended up
think
hitting her, and I gave her 2 flat tires.
You both got 2 flat tires, and you both were pissed at each other when you got the track. Back
Then
to
Dad
the
yelled
track.
at us when we came in.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. You remember that, don't
I
you?
do. I
Yep.
remember you bumped her out of the way, and, boy, she came to the pits. And actually, Allie wasn't a bad driver, was she?
No,
No,
Allie
no,
was
no,
good.
Yeah, man.
she
She didn't
was.
give
Me and her almost got 1 and 2 at Flat Rock. We both started on the front row side by side.
Well, I know she got mad at you a couple times, not once.
I
Not
wouldn't
once.
doubt it.
There's quite a little.
I
She
kinda
walked
drove
over
like a
our
little bit of a
pits one
douchebag
night, man,
then.
and
Oh yeah.
I cannot repeat what she said,
Yeah.
but she was not happy with you.
Hey, it's all in the past. We can laugh about it now.
I'd never heard her talk that way either.
Well, racing will do it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Then Mama Jill come over.
Yep.
Me and her were
She
so
started saying
competitive.
she started saying the same thing to Mom. Well, just quiet. And she just looked at Allie and said, That's enough, Allie. That's enough. And Allie knew she had stepped the boundary,
Yeah.
and she just quieted. But yeah, that was
Yeah, I don't think we talked for like a week or something.
Yeah.
competitive. She was just competitive.
We both are insanely competitive when it comes down to
man.
that.
Oh man, and you could see it. You could really
Yeah.
see it. But it was fun to watch. Because
It was.
You guys, when you got on the track, it was. I don't care.
Yeah.
we may be brother and sister, but I don't give a crap.
Yes,
Right.
once he's in the car and he's got his stuff going, he is a different person. And once he's in that car, he's a different person.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree. Carl.
You know?
I have to agree.
Yeah.
He settles down,
Yeah.
and he's got a different mind
Mindset,
at
yeah.
that time.
I mean,
When it's
once you
race
get
time,
when
I
you're in.
relax.
yeah. When I'm helping him get ready in the car, we both know what each other's going to do. We
Yeah.
do it, and then we have that system. And
It's like, a good example of it's championship night. It's up, and when I only had 7 points on Steve Stacy, I was as calm as could be the whole entire day. I got in the car, I was even more relaxed. I just knew it's going to be a good day. We're going to end up with the win. We're going to end up with the championship.
And then when
it
he got
ended up-
wrecked, we're in the infield, and he needed one lap.
Yep. We needed one lap to get ahead of Steve.
And here's back in the things are wrecked, right? The only thing that was holding that tire on was the shock. Okay.
You saw the lower.
The lower control arm was broke on the one side, so it was just
Oh
banging
shoot!
against the
Okay,
chest.
I thought it was
When
only
you
the
were-
upper control
No,
arm.
no.
I wouldn't have went
So
as fast then.
So I'm like, well, do you have it? Do you not have it? And then we found out it was a lap, and I'm like, and I'm talking to his dad, and I'm telling him, and he's like, I said, I know what to do. So I went over and I said, listen, you need one lap.
I did
Just
3.
go out there and do one lap because I'm telling you, the tire will fall off. Basically that's all I told him. He's out there 3 laps, and he's just cruising around, and he's giving it. And that tire's just going like
Believe
this.
it or not, it turned
remember
really
that.
good.
I remember that, and it was really
He got
wobbling.
He got done, and I'm like, dude, I said one lap.
I wanted to make sure I had it sealed.
Did he call Curtis? Holt on that one?
He got a hold of Curtis on that one. Said, just let her out there and sail.
Go out there and run 18 laps.
Yeah, let it sail. Yeah. Well, drivers aren't very good to listen to the crew anyway.
No.
Have you never noticed that?
Well, on one of your podcasts, when you came into the last race at Plymouth, and you go, "Where's Brian?" But you didn't say it that way. You said it differently. "Where's
I
Brian?"
said it differently.
And you could just see the emotion after you had to pull off after getting that rush going.
Yeah.
And that blood flowing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It offsets you for the rest of the race.
It does.
It
And
really
did,
does.
didn't it?
Yeah.
It sure did.
And what about that situation? And I'm not going to talk bad about anybody because I think it was a little bit of everything that what happened on that
Yeah,
one.
that whole day
But-
was bad.
But when we're down there and he came in that first time, and I'm like, what is he coming in for? And he's yelling at me about changing the tire because it's flat. And I go, dude, you don't have a flat tire.
Yeah.
Bullshit, there's a flat tire over
Yeah.
there. No, there's not. Well, then something's wrong. I go, well, tell me what you want.
And I'm like,
And
I don't know.
he's-
Where's
he's like,
Brian?
he
That's
just-
right.
So at that point in time, we figured out he was really, really tight. Or he said he's really, really tight.
Oh, it was unbelievable bad.
So it was like, well, what can we do quick? So Bobby's guy that helps Bobby out, he came over, and I said he's too tight. We ought to maybe lose some air and some tires, blah, blah, I don't know, something quick. So he done that real quick, and I was talking to him, telling him, well, he's going to let some air out, and go try that. So he goes out.
it was good for about 3 laps.
Was that right?
It was good for about 3 laps, and then it got worse.
Worse?
It was worse.
And then he come back in for another caution, and he's just screaming and yelling, and I'm like, so Amor was there, and we got talking, and so we did some bar, and that did nothing for him. And then, meanwhile, all this is going on. Brandon and Jill is calling my phone, and I left my phone in the trailer, so I couldn't let him know what was going on. And so anyway, everything was said and done. He gets out of the car, and I said, dude, I said, you know, what really sucked was I didn't have the right tools to do what he wanted done.
Yeah.
For what the car needed. So, you know, we left it at that. We went up to the hauler and sitting there, we're talking, and I think we all knew what the problem was, and so we got that worked out. I think.
Yeah, it's worked out.
So I don't think that'll happen again.
But do you know the good thing about that was it was loaded up.
One piece.
And nothing wrong with the
Yeah,
car.
I know that.
That was
Other
the
than
bonus.
that little
That was
I can officially say the Outlaw came home in one piece from Plymouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys had a rough year last year and a rough year at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. It seems like stuff's starting to turn around, though. We knocked down a feature win this year in the dwarf cars, so that helped out a lot.
As an owner, it seemed like my first couple of years were like that. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
with wrecks, blown motors. and,
I know at least 3 times you were gonna throw the towel in.
oh, my gosh.
I mean, it was just one of them. Well, that's when them motors kept blowing up. You went what, 3, 4?
Gosh.
What was the total? I don't remember.
It was 4.
Was it 4?
It
Okay.
was 4
All
motors.
right. You know. Yeah, I remember you saying because you said after this I am done.
I'm done.
I'm done. It's over.
But now it's like I said, I'm just sitting back, relaxing a little bit, enjoying life,
That's
and
good.
watching the other people race because I like to know where they're all finding their money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they
Yeah.
got some good sponsors, obviously.
That or they inherited or
Something.
because
You know.
it's very expensive, but it's still a fun sport.
It
I know
is.
it's fun.
Still a fun sport.
Well, Gene, we appreciate you coming and talking to us.
Always fun to talk.
We'll have to maybe have you back again sometime.
Yeah, have it back, and we could really put a show on then.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. When you're down at Winchester, we're thinking about doing it. Well, maybe we'll hook up with you down there.
Okay, that sounds
We'll
really
see
great. I
what's up.
appreciate it, and we always have fun.
Yeah.
That's what
always.
it's about.
That's what it is all about.
Fun.
Definitely.
If you win, magic word.
You know? So,
All right, I
Well,
appreciate it.
we appreciate you.
Yeah,
Gene, and
thanks for coming
Thanks
on.
for coming
All right,
by.
buddy.
Appreciate it all. Yep.
Good luck, Jaden.
Yep, I'm gonna need it. That's
I'll
for
be
sure.
down there to watch you.
Well, that's awesome. Definitely glad to have you on the show. That's gonna do it for the podcast today, guys. Thank you,
Well,
guys.
And we'll let you know what's going to happen with the Winchester deal
Yep.
of the podcast. I think we might do a live show. Nothing in stone yet.
No, nothing set and done officially for that just yet. So we got to figure a couple things out for that. But like I said, thank you guys for listening to the JC Shaw Motorsports podcast. I'm Jaden Kratasi. That's Harl Schaefer. That's Gino Davis. And we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Ding dong, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard.